and gentlemen, welcome to the Super Site in South Philadelphia. It is a chilly Saturday at 7 p.m., and it's the home opener for the Philadelphia Surge. My name is Adam Sutherland, and I am joined here with a local legend, two-time AMP National Champion, USA team member for Worlds, and former Surge player, Raha Mazafari. Raha, how you doing today?
Thanks, Adam. I'm super excited to be here.
We got a classic matchup. What's
Absolutely.
it feel like to be in the box?
It's nice and toasty up here. No complaints on the conditions. Super pumped for this game. I think a lot of people are. That's been the theme today.
Since the 2023 inaugural game from Philly and Gridlock, here we are back at the Super Site for a matchup of historical Premier Ultimate League proportions. And we're getting ready for the opening PUL, and it's a chilly Saturday, but the energy is in South Philadelphia, and we're so excited to be coming to you live. Let's talk a little bit about last year's results and sort of the end of the 2024 season, where Gridlock took the finals, right?
Oh, yeah. It was a clean sweep for them. They were undefeated. So was Shadow in the finals, but it was a pretty decisive game. They played outstanding. They made a lot of plays. So they're the defending champs. Defending champs,
Surge lost in semis, and they are eager to get back at it, especially after that first game in Indianapolis, where they're bringing it for the home opener.
Absolutely. Home openers in Philadelphia are always quite an event. I know the crowd is still not the most it can be, but they're trickling in. I'm sure people are tailgating to warm up a bit, so it's going to get rowdy in here, Adam.
It may be mid-April, but it feels like December, and we're ready for some Ultimate. As the opening PUL is released, Surge is on offense, and we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Home opener at Philly with a deep shot taken out of bounds. Gridlock's disc.
Danielle Walsh going strong right off the bat, looking for our star athlete receiver, Linda Morse. Didn't quite work out here, but let's see if they can get it back on D.
Gridlock walking up to tap it in, and we're back. A little flick to center.
So we got Liv player with the disc right now. One of the new additions to Gridlock. One of the alternates on the World Games roster this year. Very exciting player to watch.
Nice little movement. A one-handed grab. Nice save by Gridlock. Centering to 31 and moving it up the field. Continuous movement. They are getting close to the goal line. Nice defense, forcing a dump that is not caught and is turnover. Surge's disc taking it close to halfway as they get the possession back.
We got Sarah Liang with the disc, quarterbacking the offense with Danielle Walsh on Philadelphia. It's an exciting duo. Very dynamic, lots of give-goes.
A little bobble, but Surge maintains possession. Patience on the dump pass. They are on the sideline as they swing it now.
All right, we got a stoppage. Allie Milligan in the center with the disc right now.
And that looks like Chris Vanny is our observer. Appreciate our observers out there as we're back in possession. Surge does a dump.
Nice little lefty by Sarah to another lefty, Emily Shields, for the first
The lefty flick point. Surge is on the board, y'all.
Linda Morse with a nice celebration.
Excellent patience and work by Surge to sort of gain their composure and work their way into the end zone. And now we're going to go into our first ad for Discraft. The Discraft Ultra Star is the official disc of the Premier Ultimate League. Discraft, the world leader in disc sports.
This live broadcast of the Premier Ultimate League is brought to you by Breakmark Ultimate Apparel. Go to breakmark.com to place your next custom team order or check out the PUL Athlete Collab shops.
Talk about an exciting point, a little back and forth.
Yeah, that was exciting. I really enjoyed watching Philadelphia put that pressure on defense off a turn. It's difficult, but they had that right mental mindset to get the disc back.
And we have the PUL from Philadelphia hovering and going out of bounds at the 45.
Yeah, not.
But that was a strong defensive hold to force that turn. Look forward to seeing how Gridlock adapts on this possession.
Mm-hmm. Volley with the disc. That's Valeria Cardenas, one of the best players in the world. There's going to be a lot of exciting action from her today.
Nice quick movement by Gridlock up the field.
And that's Gina Cardena. And there we go.
Great cut for a one-handed grab. Gridlock is on the board. How about that movement? Some quick upline cuts. It's 1-1 here at the Super Site in Philadelphia.
And I think that was number 24, which I believe is Jolie. Yep, that's Jolie Krebs with the assist to Valeria Cardenas. Great first score on offense for them. All right, we're tied up.
We're tied up. Raha, how does it feel as someone now in the broadcast booth? You were on the field this time last year, seeing some of these team members on both sides. Well, what does that feel like?
You know, it's surreal. I'm happy to be a part of it still. It's been a little bit difficult to be out on the outside, but now I feel this is exciting because I've played, obviously, with Philadelphia teammates, and I've also played with a few players on the New York Gridlock team as well. So it's a very meaningful matchup for me. A lot of great friends and athletes on both teams. So I'm super pumped to be able to just celebrate this incredible game.
Absolutely. We got the PUL from New York hovering and coming down to the center of the field. Serge picks up the disc.
Emily Moeller looking to center. Got that was Kit to attempt to get one to Lindsay McKenna on the sideline.
One-handed turnover by Serge. Ooh. Now back to Gridlock, and they turn it over on the first pass off the sideline.
That's a gift.
That is a gift. Value this as Serge goes into the swing for a dump.
Sarah Liang is doing a great job on the far side, trying to call for the disc to keep moving to the other side of the field. I want to see Serge keep using the width of the field.
Nice work as they continue to swing and using that space. They are knocking on the doorstep, and they go for the goal, and they're there. A upline cut right at the end. That is 2 for Philadelphia Serge. Great work.
And I think that was Kit Astron to Lindsay McKenna, I believe. Let me just confirm that on the replay. Or was that Emily? Let's see. Let's see who that is. Yes.
And Gridlock defense was right on top, and yet.
That is Kit to Lindsay. Kit is one of the new additions to Philadelphia this year as well. Huge addition. She's got such poise as a solid handler in the backfield. Very calm, can get the disc off no matter what the high stall is. Great smooth break throws. Really excited to watch Kit.
And that's something that head coach Andrea DeSabato mentioned earlier when we were talking with her about the similarities between the teams, with a couple players leaving, like yourself included, and then some new additions, which is kind of similar to both dynamics, right?
Absolutely. One of the big names from the New York roster that's currently not playing this season is Manuela Cardenas. It's Valeria's twin sister, and they've got a few other additions, and so do we. So it's kind of the theme of the evening.
Let's pick back up this theme with Serge's PUL goes center of the field as Gridlock gets it started, moving up line.
Ooh. Gina with the disc. Wow. Easy.
Nice flick and score. Gridlock is on the board. It's tied 2-2.
Easy. That was Gina Cartagena 2. I believe that, I want to say that was Estelle.
Let's look at the replay and look at the patience of Gridlock, seeing that upline.
Just the incredible disc skills that they have to put that, they make it look really easy.
Would you say that was a break too? Right around, right around the body?
Exactly. Really difficult throw. They make it look so smooth and easy, but it's not.
Estelle Ding for the score, and we're at 2-2. 7:51 into the first quarter. It's lively, y'all.
This is starting to look a lot like the game last year when we played them in week 7, actually. First couple points where we were trading until New York sort of found an outlet and they got their D rolling. And we brought it back, tied it up again, but then it was kind of difficult to claw back in after.
And that's another comment that Coach DeSabato mentioned about playing high-level teams this early in the season, setting the tone for the big games further down the road.
Absolutely. All right, Sarah Leanne picking it up. Looking for that lefty again.
Oh, nice
Grace
save.
Maroon. Got Natalie Bova. What a great offensive line here. Exciting. Looking to reset to Liz Hart. Danielle Walsh, the nice catch. Back to Grace Maroon. All right, let's look to swing it now, Natalie. Nope. Oh.
The look up line, a little high release, and it's just too far from her reach, but it was a great look.
Natalie can't hear me, but she knows that. I'm sure she knows. She's like, I should have swung that disc.
Gridlock is going to pick it up at the goal line.
And we got Gina Cardena with Valeria as a reset. Let's see what they're going to cook up here.
First cut out of the stack, a little high, and it goes over the head. Serge gets the defense and is back in possession, centering the dish with a nice little high release.
Good movement. Excellent.
Way to be there.
Sarah Leanne knocking on the door of that end zone. Got Danielle Welsh. Great dynamic duo here. Excellent.
A couple yards from the goal line, and they get it in for 3-2. Philadelphia Surge. Another gift there, but strong defense off of the sideline.
Yeah, it's really rare to see Gridlock make mistakes like that. It was kind of a high throw down the line. I wouldn't say it's that windy out there, Adam. What do you think?
It may be a little windy. Let's look at some of these weather conditions. It's like about in the mid-40s, and down here in South Philly, the winds can come and go, but that sideline defense held on, and they got lucky with a little updraft to get that disc back. Yeah, we're actually in the high 30s, and winds a little 10 mile per hour, so not too bad. But on these pools, just got to be a little more intentional with those throws.
All right, we got M. Moeller with the pool here. Here we go. Can hear the fans rolling in now.
Fans are getting wild. That is going to go out of bounds for the pool.
Again, okay.
And Gridlock's making their way up to their position. And let's see what kind of answer they can have to this after that turnover and last point.
All right, they're isolating Jolie Krebs in the middle. A great defense here by Sarah Hiernett on Valeria. Making them have to go through their second and third options. That's great. Got Gina back in the middle. Lots of touches through Gina.
A lot of handler movement back and forth, trying to find some rhythm. But Gridlock is getting closer with another in cut.
Here we go. Ooh,
and finds
great
another
bid
one
by
for
Lindsay
a flick.
McKenna. Close one. All right. Wow.
And a low backhand that turfs and turns into another turnover. But we do have
timeout, it looks like.
a timeout called. Yeah, observers are saying timeout.
That's good coaching. Way to see that there was a bit of a struggle there on offense to call that.
Yeah, fantastic call by Gridlock, being able to see a much-needed point and taking a moment for composure.
Yeah, I was talking to some of the Gridlock coaches and asking them, what are they excited about? I think they just reiterated what everyone's been saying, this matchup. So whether it's the players, the fans, us, the coaches, everyone's excited for this game.
And you were telling me before we got started about the history of the Gridlock team before Philly even existed.
Right.
And how players would be a part of this pro community in New York. And now with the inaugural game for Philly in 2023, this has to be one of the biggest rivals, right?
Absolutely. We've had quite the history with New York. Like you mentioned, a few of us, especially Andrew DeSabato and Sarah Hiernat, I remember, commuted to play in the initial Premier Ultimate League when it first started with New York Gridlock. And then a few of the rest of us also joined. I think I played 1 year as well before Surge was initiated. So,
all right, Gridlock is just tapping in.
Good job getting the swung.
Right. Nice fake.
Great downfield end zone defense.
Wow.
Very good defense, but also very excellent offense.
Excellent leadership by 20 and being able to recognize calling the play. That was a fantastic example of patience.
Yeah, number 20, that's Gina Cartagena. You've heard me mention her name many times. She
one
is
of the best in the world.
She's one of the best in the world. I know the twin sisters, Manuela and Valeria, get a lot of more of the attention, but honestly, in my opinion, I think Gina's underrated and could use a lot more credit than she gets. She is extremely solid. One of the toughest matchups I've ever had to, deal with, and I can say the same for a lot of my teammates as well. So, super fun player to watch. She's been playing for 18 years. She's from Colombia, Medellin, and she's been playing for New York Bent for club for a while now as well. So, super talented. Very, very skilled player, dynamic, both in the backfield and also can leak and go downfield. So she's one of those people that makes you have to, you try multiple things and she'll come back and get you. Very adaptable. Making
you work to get to that level of play. And it looks like Gridlock's PUL will be in bounds.
Wow.
And Surge is going to take it right off the sideline for an upline cut.
Grace Maroon towing it in.
Grace Maroon, Maroon Dynasty with the disc. For those of you familiar with the Pata, and she does a deep shot flick hook.
Oh, Liz Hart,
that floats a little bit, and Gridlock is there for the defense.
Yeah, they didn't really give her much of a great mark to keep her trapped there. Not a lot of options downfield.
Ooh, close call as Gridlock swings and is holding down possession close to their end zone, but a nice backhand upline.
Eli Pressburg with the disc. And let's see.
Oh, just over the head of Gridlock number 9.
So
it is
close.
now Surge disc as they swing off the sideline. That was Cassie Brown, who was just short of making that completion. But Surge is making moves as they use that space, Raha, like you were saying, lengthening out that field. Nice work.
Natalie's really fun to watch. I mean, she is so speedy, and one of the things she's really good at is just sneaking up line. She'll do that constantly.
A little fake high release and then inside flick. That is then for the score. Surge is up 2, y'all.
I really like that Surge is, it's not working all the time, but they're trying. They're really
up one. It is 4-3. That was another gift by the defense, just holding on and being able to apply that pressure for those mistakes to happen, using the weather, which really isn't too influential, but those little things, they add up. And we got 3 minutes left in the first.
Yeah, it seems like both teams' strategy right now is to trap the players on the sidelines. It's working really well, especially for Surge. Getting that disc back at least.
This is going to be another great example of Gridlock leadership, stepping it up on offense, because they seem like they're getting their rhythm going. It's just keeping it on both sides of the disc as Surge now.
Lindsay McKenna with the pull this time. Can she keep it in? And yes.
We're in. Gridlock has the disc, setting it up for their next possession.
It's number 26.
Great mark by Surge, going into a high stall count. Gridlock throws a fake as they center.
Jolie Krebs with the disc now. Oh, Jenny, there we go. Jenny DeZeus. She's been a little quiet. I'm sure she's warming up, getting some touches now.
Nice fake. Gridlock's really hustling out there, and they see a deep shot for a flick. And Surge is there for the defense in the end zone.
Excellent. You're going to notice a lot, Adam, that Valeria and Gina Cartana are going to try to look for each other.
See that chemistry?
It's that,
get that build?
That Colombian sort of, they've got eyes everywhere for each other.
But their team dynamic is so good. I remember seeing them in, and it's a floater. Gridlock is there for the D as Surge turns it over. Gridlock has the disc on the goal line.
Missed opportunity for Callahan there.
Almost a Callahan in the first quarter. What a matchup as Gridlock goes to take the disc. We're tapped in.
Lindsay with a big mark.
Looks like it's a far right stack as they do the dump. For the backhand.
Oh,
wow.
Good snag.
Great point by Gridlock to hold it down for a fake and then a high release backhand, but she released it so low, it just, I guess it looked normal.
That's another score for Estelle Deng.
Right over the fingertips of a Surge defender. It's tied. Now, let's look at this. Deep shot flick, great defense.
More Than Movement is a proud game day sponsor of the Philadelphia Surge and the official training partner for the team.
Long point, but yet Gridlock held it down after a couple of dumps and then a little break.
Miss pick call there too. Gotta make those calls.
Good point.
And then there's that little shimmy, classic.
Almost
shimmy.
Just like a misread, right?
Great bit by Lane. Yeah.
But hey, that's point after point. It's just holding on for keeping that stamina. We got a lot of game left, and you can feel the energy as it's building here. We got some signs. The Philadelphia crowd is out to support their favorite team. We have the PUL from Gridlock.
All right, Sterling's picking up. Looking at that trap mark again.
Got to get off that sideline. Great look. And just a missed right through the hand.
Foul called by Danielle Walsh.
You're right.
It's been really nice to see, I think, Ultimate Community using the hand signals to communicate what is going on. And you see the observer now also gesturing that, I guess it
was a turn.
He ruled it for no foul.
He sure did.
Turn.
Thank you, observers, as Gridlock takes the disc in the center of the field and gets the flow going. Nice fake, swinging it back.
A lot of handler movement again to kind of generate that tempo until they get a big yard gaining cut.
Valeria back with the disc.
One of the other additions to Gridlock is Ella Young's with the disc right now. And she is super fun to watch, so speedy. She's been actually playing, she was playing in North Carolina for a while and has been in New York for the last few years. One of my favorite players to watch.
Oh, I can see why. Great movement by Gridlock, working it up. Incredible ultimate community in the North Carolina region. Oh, and Gridlock sees
catch.
a backhand low release,
That's
catch
huge.
to go up by 1.
That was Montana Roberts with a nice catch in the end zone. That's a break, Adam.
That is big. I really felt like Gridlock got into their rhythm after that. Valeria was very active in the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
Great patience by Gridlock to go up by 1.
If you miss seeing Raha Mozafari on the field,
Now you mentioned those ultimate communities. Yeah, let's look at this replay first.
Okay.
And
Wow.
a great catch, great snag.
That is not easy.
It is not. Great hustle on both sides of the disc. You mentioned ultimate communities like the one in North Carolina. I am very grateful to express the ultimate community in Philadelphia that we have. What does it mean to you, someone that has played on so many levels, to be a part of a community like that as you get older in the game and understand the game differently or share that with your peers?
Yeah, it's been such a privilege reflecting on, where I started and where I am now and where I could be. It doesn't have to be the end that I'm not playing currently, but there's different versions of the game, right? At one point I was, 18 years old and I had these mentors and support system to kind of get me through to the tears that I've gone through. And now, it's time for me to be able to give back a little bit. And it's exciting. The youth in Philly has come such a long way. Back when I first started in high school, there was maybe 2 or 3 girls playing on like an open team. And now we've got A team and B team just for girls in high schools now, even middle schools. So really exciting stuff to see. And Philadelphia has one of the biggest communities, ultimate communities.
It is really special. And after this grid pull,
Wow.
Philly gets it all the way up at the goal line. And they throw one high release, and they've scored to tie the game.
One throw goal.
The pool must have gone out just very soon after Gridlock's release, and Philly capitalized. I mean, it's those little advantages that great job on Surge just being able to come and get it right back.
Absolutely. I mean, it shows you, so far we've seen, at least 3 or 4 out of bounds pulls, and how important that is. I think both teams are going to take that and go practice some pulls.
Yeah, I think that's the first major criticism is just being able to control the pulls and how much that gauges the pace of play because of just how you're working your rhythm.
End of the first quarter.
And that's the end of the first. And we're back. Let's get started as the second quarter is about to kick up. This live broadcast is brought to you by the Premier Ultimate League. The PUL is a 501c6 nonprofit. This league has been community funded since day one, and we are so grateful for the support. We ask that you consider donating to help us continue to transform and fulfill our mission. Please head to PremierUltimateLeague.com to donate today. That's PremierUltimateLeague.com to donate today.
Exciting first quarter. What do you think?
Yeah, 5-5. I kind of hope that they focus a little more on starting off with just those pulls, keeping them in bound. But I did like the movement, a couple turnovers that I don't know if they were just from gusts of winds or maybe just a mislook. But we got ourselves a good matchup.
Absolutely.
Historic matchup.
Very much so. even though Philadelphia is down 1 break, that means nothing. So there's still plenty of game left. Any adjustments you want to see?
I really enjoy the hard marks and forcing. I would love to see some deep shots. We've had a couple that were just have been a little too far, but it's really just knowing the elements that you're playing in. And Philadelphia is about to get their pull right now as it's in the air, stick into a nice little roller. That's good adaptation, Philadelphia, as Gridlock picks up the disc and is back in it.
You can tell that they've talked a little bit after that first quarter, being more aggressive on the mark, really upping that intensity, just applying a little bit more pressure. Great job by Kit on the reset on Valeria.
And some strong marks by Philadelphia as Gridlock works it back and forth.
And it looks like downfield Philadelphia is trying a little bit of no-unders, which I think is great because, like you said, there haven't been a lot of deep shots. And the one Lindsay McKenna deed, so I'll take that any day.
Nice look there.
Yeah.
And then
there we go.
A hard flick that's just a little too much of a laser for Gridlock to complete to get close to the end zone. This will be a turnover and Surge's disc on about the 5.
This is it's a huge opportunity here for Philly.
Yeah, this is a big point. Oh, we got a nice cut deep. Good patience, way to holster, but yet let's keep working it as they use the field. A nice
great yards
deep
by Lindsay.
Flick up line.
Natalie Bova with the Jets.
And then another cut deep. Philly is looking, and they find
great
a
shot
deep
by
shot.
Dodge. To Lane Dodge. Can she make the
Space,
play? Yes.
It's there.
Oh, there's a call. Great look either way. I love it.
Great look. The play did feel like it died when the disc was in the air for the call that they're discussing right now.
Look at the wind. It looks like the wind is at Philadelphia's back right now. So
right.
that was a good opportunity to kind of push it downwind.
Yeah, you can see on the players' jerseys, I'm looking for some flags, but it looks like it's coming from north to south.
Okay, maybe there's a timeout called. I'm not quite sure what the call was there.
Would this have been another strategic timeout by the Gridlock head coach?
Well, Philadelphia was on offense. So there we go. The fans are in it.
Yeah, we got some good engagement from our fans with the team as our observer is establishing Surge is going to pick back up the disc.
I think the coaches saw that Lindsay McKenna was in a little bit of trouble on the sideline there, so they must have made that timeout call.
And we're back.
Got Sarah Leanne with the disc now. Great center. So Danielle Walsh.
Great catch, Danielle.
Excellent.
Nice little high release
pass there. Philadelphia could use a little bit more downfield flow movement. The timing is just a little off.
Absolutely.
But great job moving the disc to the other side. And the stack is starting to drift a little bit.
Philadelphia holding on possession is in their center of the field past the 50-yard mark.
Liz Hart is surveying. All right, we've got a little power position with Danielle. And it looks like a pick call.
And we're back.
One of my favorite players, Sarah Liang, to play. I was so lucky to get the chance to play with her last year, and yeah, it's just so fun to watch her.
Oh, great save. A little
nice
low,
snag.
but Philadelphia hangs on in position within the 10-yard mark.
Excellent.
Nice little break. And it appears there was a miscommunication. Philadelphia turfs right at the end zone will be Gridlock disc, and yet the observers are saying,
oh, there's an injury sub after. Looks like Walsh is coming off after she threw that. I wonder what happened. Hopefully it's nothing serious.
Yeah, hopefully it was just a tweak, and she just needs a minute to have a break. But Gridlock will be taking the disc back on the end zone goal line.
Those are the mistakes that, Philadelphia really needs to clean up. I mean, you're at the end zone.
That's really just finishing your point. And if Gridlock's able to capitalize on this, as they work up, we see a flick that is there at the 50-yard mark.
Great vision.
Was that Cardenia?
That was Valeria to Montana, yes.
Great shot, Valeria, as Gridlock maintains possession halfway in the pitch.
Oh, great fakes. And we got Cassie Brown with the disc now. Also another fun player to watch.
Yeah, easy, just so flowy with her movements.
Gina Cartena trying to find some. Oh, great pressure by Grace Maroon.
And it was in, and then it just must have dropped it, never had really full possession as it gets back to Surge's disc.
Those little mistakes on both sides.
All right, let's see.
Great yards by Grace.
Right.
Wow.
Just
Excellent.
a deep cut.
Excellent. Wow.
Nice,
That's how you get the disc across.
Nice work of space and the deep shot backhand for the Surge.
Ooh.
Oh, what a D. In the end zone, Gridlock is there to bat it down to get possession back.
I don't hate it.
I mean,
you've got Linda Morse with steps. She's a little too deep probably. So,
but great timing, just to bat it.
Great defense by Montana. She's working hard out there,
And Gridlock is back, working their way, still in their home territory.
Okay. Looks like both defenses a little bit tired on Philadelphia right now. What a great deep
As
shot.
the disc floats, Gridlock is 15 yards within the end zone. After some smooth upline cuts, they are in a serious position to get a point.
Oh, Philly looks a little tired on D now.
They sure do.
A long point. It's another timeout?
It does look like it, but
travel
yet
called.
travel called.
I'm guessing, yeah. Okay.
Cassie Brown with the throw.
That was a turnover. Just a little outside the window of Montana.
Timeout by Philadelphia.
And looks like Philadelphia called another timeout. All right.
I am impressed by these deep, the spaces that Philadelphia is using just for those inline cuts to get 20 yards maybe.
Yeah, they're really doing a nice job moving the disc laterally and trying to get some vertical yardage as well. Now, just gotta keep working on that. It's all about timing. It's all about chemistry.
Even way to play like a little bit of a blade just to get, in stride of that, if that team member, whether it's windy or not, just being able to complete that pass.
You got it.
As Surge is going to pick it up on the sideline.
Is this the second time out of the point?
Definitely the longest point of the game, right?
Yes. Almost the whole roster's played this point now. And Mueller with some fun
I feel like this
movements on the field here.
Right? This point here is taking the game up to that next level of stamina and composure.
Absolutely. So we got some new players on the field now. That was Kit centering into M. Mueller. Unfortunate drop here.
It was just a little low. They
low.
fell down, but Gridlock has the disc back, and it looks like they're eager to get a point.
Gridlock kept, at least Gina Cartena still on the field.
Right? A little give-and-go action,
Ooh.
and then they got a clean up line on the open side for the score. Gridlock is up by 1, just under 6 minutes in the second quarter.
That's a huge point for Gridlock.
That is.
Winning those long points is always, it almost feels like 2 points.
It's a morale booster.
Yep.
Also, y'all, we're all back on the board. Let's take this into defense.
Yes.
Because hopefully defense had been itching to get back out there, and they can do something.
And now Philadelphia has to work their offense upwind. They're a little bit tired because they just played, a lot of that long point. So this is a big point for them. This is going to be a good test.
Yes.
To see where their head is at, and are they able to forget, put the past behind them and focus on the next point.
In fact, let's give a shout out to our Philadelphia Surge coaches. Rahal, what do you think they're saying? What do you think Dave and Bobby are saying at sort of a moment like this where you got to collect yourself and get back out there on offense?
Yeah, and I think just encouraging them that they are playing well. They're playing really well. Keep doing the little things. Keep moving the disc and playing with good tempo, and just clean up the mistakes. It's really all that it is, and always stay in it. Just don't give up on defense.
Surge picks up the disc after a decent pull by Gridlock as they're working away, swinging it, using the space on the field.
Looks like a little junk from Gridlock now. They did this to us last year as well. Very smart.
Oh, and a blade that just goes down real quick for a turn.
That's good strategy and coaching by them to mix it up.
Gridlock picks it up on the sideline. They are at the 25, and this is a big point just to really go ahead, not just by 2, but just to take advantage of this moment.
Great handler movement here. Very patient offense.
Eli Pressburg, number 31, being a good force in the backfield. Wow. With
Nice
that high
finish.
release finish, Gridlock with the goal.
Montana Roberts.
Great point, Montana. That was Gridlock just being able to take advantage of a turn by Philly, and still got plenty of time left in. Let's look at this instant replay.
Yeah, good switch there by Philadelphia, but also New York did a great job taking their time, finding the next open option.
Abby Hecko sees
Valeria Cardena
Valaire
to Montana.
To Montana for the goal.
Yeah. Abby Hecko is another one of the new additions to Gridlock this year.
Okay.
One of my national teammates from this past year. We competed in Australia together.
Very cool.
I got to play with her for a couple of the lines. It was fun while it lasted. She is an excellent communicator on the field. One of the best. Super, super vocal, super loud, and just solid. I mean, she doesn't make mistakes. Really tough person to guard. Her around throws are incredible. And, super fun teammate. So excited to watch her this season.
With conditions like this, how do you think communication has changed and adapt on the line when you're down by 2 and you need to be a little extra more vocal or maybe a little more intense than usual?
Yeah, absolutely. Ooh,
and just out of reach, Surge looks for an upline, but it goes into the ground for the turnover as Gridlock is at the 50.
Communication is very important no matter what point in the game, but it gets harder the more tired you are, right? So not only do your legs need to keep working, but your vocal cords need to work as well. They're also muscles. So it's a part of the game. Ooh.
And a nice break. It looks like it's on the ground, but 31 may have snagged it just in time. Eli Pressburg is saying
down.
It was down.
Oh.
Good spirit, Eli.
Lucky.
And the crowd is definitely into it as they search. There's a cut deep, and it goes, just dies just out of reach.
I like the look, but
I do
again, you got to recognize the receiver is already too deep.
And that's a gift. Gridlock's going to work it back. They're just outside the 10 on their home.
Good spot to be in, though. If you're going to be on defense, this is a good spot. So let's see if we can get a stop.
Had to have a dump. They're just outside the end zone now as they worked it up. Nice.
Gridlock is doing a really nice job of working it with the handlers to kind of create some dynamic movement and then isolating players downfield.
Eli with the deep shot that floats a little bit.
Wow.
Oh, but just goes out of reach. Just out of reach for Abby Hecko as Surge will take their possession back about the 18-yard line.
Well, both teams are giving us the deep looks that we were asking for.
I do enjoy that.
They're trying. And here we go.
And here we go again. A
Yes.
laser that may float just enough, but
Lindsay.
yet it's just out of reach again. Was that the second cut also by Lindsay?
So now it flipped around. Last one was Kit to Lindsay. This time it was Lindsay to Kit attempt. So.
And New York will call a timeout to give everyone a break. Another long point. I don't know yet if it was as long as the previous one, but this does take the game up to that other notch of how are we going to adapt in this situation this early in the season, pushing the team to grow in ways. Can you sort of speak on that a little bit about what's the coaches saying as opposed to if you're on the line?
So I know that Andrea DeSabados is telling them for sure, like, we need to stop hucking it. Or if we're going to do it, we need to complete it. So there's one thing to huck when it's a perfectly timed cut, perfectly timed throw, nice shape, put a little bit more edge on it, give it a little bit more height. But we can't just keep making the same hucking mistakes and not getting it back. So cleaning that up. Our grinding game has been working. Philadelphia is known for grinding it up the field. So I think maybe just taking a breath and seeing the options and using the width that they were using really well before.
Yeah, just a pause, but collecting yourself to get this disc back as Gridlock taps it in on their goal line to get their possession started.
I'm not sure what they're forcing here. Looks like maybe a little bit of an FM.
Yeah, I think it's maybe force middle, and yet they maintain possession with a nice catch. Oh, and a pretty backhand that's floating.
Exciting matchup.
And coming down, but defense was there to shut down that deep shot as Serge gets the disc back.
Great pressure by Linda Morse. Trailing behind, putting her jets on to get there.
Right.
And just that pressure kind of making Jenny does just have to think. That's all it takes.
Yeah, that floated just enough for the defender really to work to make a play over the offensive player.
Oh, come on, can you say that?
A nice little.
Oh!
Yeah, it floated just past, and yet there was going to be a garbage catch by Serge and went through their hands as well as Gridlock takes the disc back.
So I think maybe it got a little windier. We're not feeling it in here, but just from seeing some of the way that the disc is floating.
It sure does look like it as the sun is
like
going down, and yet a nice laser put, but it's just out of the reach for Gridlock to score as Serge takes the disc back.
Yes, it's been a sloppy half for sure.
It
or
really
quarter,
has.
I should say.
We got 1:20 left in the second quarter as Serge gets the momentum going at their goal line in possession, still down by 2. And we see a deep shot that is floating. We have a Serge player there, but yet Gridlock is in front to make the defensive play and looks very similar to the previous possessions.
Yeah, I think what's happening is Philadelphia's cutters are getting a little bit too spread out and the handlers are getting a little bit too frantic. So instead of sort of taking a breath, like you said, and just reorganizing and moving the disc laterally and creating that tempo, everything's just getting spread out.
Yeah, it's felt a little spontaneous or maybe just a little more impromptu than necessary as Gridlock is just really finding their rhythm.
We got 30 seconds left.
30 seconds left in the second quarter. Looks like they're turning into a horizontal as Gridlock is looking for cuts. They go to the middle.
Gridlock's cutters are pointing to each other. It's like, your cut, you go.
And Valeria is just everywhere.
Yep. I think everyone's getting a little tired now. It's been a long point again. Lots of yardage.
And
lots of
the
pucks.
time is...
All right, so...
There may be a call, but the clock was winding down for this final possession as Gridlock is communicating with the observers about...
Yeah, was there another timeout maybe? Or... Oh, they may have been out of bounds. Okay, we can see those little cones now.
Yes, they
like
may have checked their feet or not as they get the disc back.
So we got last possession now.
We have last possession. As they work their way back, Gridlock has the disc just past the 40-yard line.
So for those of you who are familiar or not familiar with the PUL sort of rules, Gridlock right now has all the time in the world to just possess and score. There's no need for them to rush. If there's a turnover,
major bonus.
It's a dead disc. So, yeah, huge. The only time that changes is in the last quarter, where it's
and a very unexpected drop.
Unexpected is right.
And it's the final possession, which means we are at halftime. And it is 5-7. New York Gridlock with the lead against Philadelphia Surge.
Wow. Hopefully they get into the locker rooms and warm up a little bit.
Yeah, stay warm, get some feeling back in those fingers, or just really maybe take a beat and talk with the team and the coach. But we got 10 minutes for halftime, and it's a chilly night in Philadelphia, but it is an exciting Premier Ultimate League matchup versus Gridlock and Surge, and that's 5-7. New York Gridlock up by 2.
See you in about 10 minutes.
Over here.
Back, 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 back.
Let's say both hands.
Copy that. And ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Welcome to South Philadelphia. We are at the super site for this rivalry matchup. New York Gridlock versus Philadelphia Surge, and Gridlock is up by 2. I am Adam Sutherland here with local legend, Raha Mazafari. Raha, what is happening? And after that first half, what are your thoughts?
Oh, man. Pretty much what we expected for this to be an incredibly tight game. There's a 2-point difference. New York is up, but that means nothing still to this point. Yeah, I'm looking to see what adjustments both teams make. I'd like to see Philadelphia just play a little bit cleaner.
I would too. And Gridlock has been really keeping the composure and taking advantage of those turnovers. As it gets darker in Philadelphia, the lights are shining brighter, maybe a little chillier, but we're back with Premier Ultimate League, Ultimate Frisbee, as Surge gets the movement going at the middle of the field.
It looks like New York is back with their junk. It worked for them last quarter. It throwing off Philly a little bit.
It sure did. What do you think Coach DeSabato was talking to the team during halftime, Raha?
Again, a little bit of let's probably stop hucking it for the purpose of hucking it and keep working the grinding the unders and just keeping possession. That was one of the things that Coach Andrea DeSabato, when we interviewed her before, said that she was really looking to have improve in this game coming from the last game against Indianapolis. And the first quarter was excellent. Second quarter, there were a lot of unforced errors. And so let's see what the third quarter brings.
A lot of patience, a lot of patient movement by Surge, given some pointing, almost being a little over-intentional about how they're going to get some offensive movement happening.
Definitely. The goal of a zone defense isn't to necessarily get blocks. It's really to make the offense have to make a lot of throws until they end up making a mistake. So it's up to Surge to, and there's that one mistake.
A pass that just maybe caught a gust of wind or is just angled too high that went out of bounds as Gridlock walks to get the disc for this gift for their possession. Quickly moving it across the field using the space. Gridlock works it way.
And there's a call, maybe a pick.
Looks like it.
Yeah, New York definitely wants to play fast, and I think Philadelphia is trying to slow them down.
For sure. It feels like the pace is definitely in the Gridlock court right now as they tap the disc in. They are on the 30, 25-yard line as Surge is there for a D, but yet she holds on to it. Still Gridlock's disc.
Wow, Valeria Cardenas with an incredible second attempt catch. Great defense by Sarah Liang,
and she is moving it. She's got the wheels on, really making up for that last position where she dropped it. A high release just over out of reach by Gridlock. So pretty. And yet Surge was there just to knock it down as Philadelphia has the disc now at their end zone.
But one of the reasons why Valeria is one of the best players in the world.
That bobble and the composure just to like snatch it, just to hold on to it and get back up to dish and make some cuts. Very impressive.
So we have a little conversation here. But Philadelphia has yet another chance. There's that replay of that. Oh, just off the finger.
It looks like she touched it?
Jenny, yes. I think that Jenny just missed that.
Travel call. What do you think, fans? Did Walsh travel?
All right.
Travel called.
And we're back as Surge taps it in. Big point for offense right here.
Not the first time for Danielle Walsh to be, for someone to call travel on Walsh. She is a left-handed player. She does.
Nice movement.
Definitely travel, though. She's gonna kill me for saying.
I really like that honesty, though, from a teammate. Also being a
not all the time, but sometimes she does.
Commentator, you got to see it. You got to call it when you see it.
Exactly.
And also good strategy to make those calls to halt play, take a breath.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that bobble attempt.
And a short backhand that just bobbles as Surge turns it for Gridlock to pick it back up at the 15.
Definitely looking a little windier. I mean, look at
definitely looking windier.
If you look at Abby Hecko as the disc, her shirt just, it looks like it's a kind of crosswindy.
It looks like it's coming from north to south, as you can see, like Raha is saying, the jerseys rippling as Gridlock gets it back. They're at the 20 for an upline goal.
Wow.
New York Gridlock to go up by 3. Great bid by Philadelphia Surge there. Let's watch the replay and see.
That was Nikki Hare with the catch, even under pressure with a really nice bid by Grace Maroon, I think that was.
Really trying to close that window. That was a tight thread to score Gridlock.
Nikki Hare's been playing in the New York area for a while now.
A little push pass by Hecko.
Great timing on that.
Wow, and she was there too, just a little off timing. But now Gridlock's up by 3. And
nice celebration, too. Gridlock's energy for being an away game
a cold
away
at that.
game with the Philly fans.
With the Philadelphia fans. Never has like chemistry been more important, especially early in the season, to build trust, focus on who can bring that energy when it's so hard. And hopefully Surge can do an audit real quick on who is going to really step up and build this momentum, because after the last possession, it's just recalibrating and getting that alignment.
You know who, Adam?
I need to know.
I think it's the fans. I think they're slacking, to be honest.
The fans, I'm just going to say that we have Shaggy down on the track who is building the energy, and I'm calling that it's going to happen here.
All right.
Things are going to align as Surge works their way up. They must have heard me speaking as they turf the disc for a turnover.
Oh, you hate to see that.
Yeah, that was right into the gutter as Gridlock takes the disc back.
Now they're trying to find matchups.
You're right, just trying to stay a little controlled as Gridlock is capitalizing, and yet a snatch by 4 to maintain possession.
That is
Maria Wiverka.
Oh, Marie, I think.
Marie, and yet Gridlock looks for a pass that goes into the turf and is a turnover. Now Surge disc on the goal line.
It's M. Muller with the disc. Very powerful, as you can see. Thrower. Oh, come on, Lane.
What a backhand
catch.
Rip and a grab.
What a catch. That's Lane Dodge.
Deepest shot of the day, 60 to 70 yard backhand
run
by Philadelphia.
Lane Dodge, she's been working really hard. I've seen her at the gym we both go to, More Than Movement, actually one of our sponsors. Highly recommend. They've been getting Philadelphia Surge fit for the season and helping with any of their nursing injuries. And yeah, Lane Dodge, she's been hitting the gym. She's been working hard, so it shows. That explosive movement. An
impressive way to bait as the disc is coming down to play your space to come down with the disc as Philadelphia flirts with the goal line. Wow. Lovely give and go. Way to go, Philadelphia, to get on the board to make it 7-8.
There's the energy.
There's the energy by the fans. And excuse me, so we're still down by 2. That's 6-8. But let's go to one of our local ads.
Yes. So Philadelphia Surge is thrilled to have Gina Weary of Remax Ready return as our 2025 title season sponsor. Gina's support helps us provide an amazing experience for our players and fans. Beyond being a Philadelphia Ultimate legend herself, Gina has 2 decades of experience helping folks buy and sell homes in the Philadelphia area. Reach out to her for all of your real estate needs at GinaWeary.com. That's GINAWHERRY.com. In addition to supporting Surge, Gina donates to PATA, which is the Philadelphia Area Disc Alliance, when PATA members or their families buy or sell with Gina. Get in touch with Gina through her website or find her in the stands tonight. I can vouch that Patrick and I, my husband, and I've worked with Gina for a long, long time now, and she's awesome. She really knows her stuff. She's super helpful, and for our first time home buying, it's scary.
It is.
And she helped us a lot.
But it really is incredible to see the support from this community in capacities, whether that be home buying or just building relationships around the beautiful sport that is Ultimate. We have back in possession for Gridlock as Surge has a decent pull. Gridlock is immediately working their way up to the 50-yard line.
Yeah, Jolie Krebs on the sideline. What a nice around throw.
So pretty.
She makes it look so easy.
She sure does.
We've got Valeria in the center. Back to Jolie. They're looking to do a little give-go. We got Gina. What a nice find there in the middle to Estelle.
Oh, no. Unexpected drop. Must have just been off the chest as Surge picks it back up.
A little miscue.
A little miscue there.
Ooh. Great find again in the middle. That's good use of faking to open up the fields.
Truly.
Okay, nice yard.
Great cut by
Anna Carnage. I
Fantastic
believe. Number
movement.
4. She's wearing my jersey.
Represent number 4. Tribute. We need to hang that into the rafters for Raha. But right now, those cuts, though, were so well timed.
Yeah, Anna is actually another one of the new additions to Philadelphia. She's a travel player. She is traveling from Washington, D.C. She plays for Washington, D.C. Grit on the club team. Super athletic, as you saw, just churns. Very hardworking.
There we go. Look at that upline give and go. Way to go, Philadelphia. Get back on the board
Did
to
you
an
see
answer.
That spike?
I did. Not only was that spike fantastic, but the jumping jack in the air celebration. You can feel the energy building back up. We are.
That was for the fans. I mean, the fans are out here to see players like Liz Hart do their thing. What a nice catch. What a nice finish. It's that tempo we talked about. Finding that space, finding that timing. What a nice finish. Nice and easy. Nothing too crazy.
Way to capitalize on the upline cut with the momentum that Philadelphia is building. It is something that I'm going to use going into the support for Adam Kraft. And I want everyone to know that Adam Kraft is with Cross Country Mortgage, and he is here to help you with all of your mortgage needs, and is also an amazing player and contributor to the Philadelphia Ultimate community. Adam has helped dozens of Philadelphia Ultimate community members buy their perfect home and also offers special programs for the first-time buyers. Find Adam near Gino Ware's tent today. And Adam has a special this month. Buy 9 homes with him and get your 10th mortgage free.
That's a deal.
Talk about other incredible presences within the Ultimate community. It's special at a professional level like this to see that support on and off the field.
All right. Looks like Philadelphia's being a little bit junky.
Yep.
A little bit of switching, a little bit of...
It's almost as if Gridlock is teasing Philadelphia, just going to see like how they're going to adapt and how they're going to react.
Yeah, and they have
nice
Jenny DeJesus as a deep receiver and M. Moeller covering that deep space. Good matchup there. Nice defense by Lindsay. Gridlock is just so good at, they don't have the first, they don't have the second. They just automatically find that third, fourth option really, really nicely.
They really do.
It's like they've been playing together for a while.
And it goes to show the history of the program, being able to trust those team members.
Wow.
Almost like
nice read.
Great
nice
read by the defense there, seeing where to come over the top just to bat the disc down as Serge takes the disc back at the 20.
Wow. And here we go. That was Kid Astron with the block and immediately looking to boost it deep to Lindsay McKenna, but good box out by Jolie.
Great box out right there by defense, playing the space as the disc comes down.
And I see what she's looking for. I really do. I see that space, but again, it's the
that was a quick shot, though, right off the bat as Gridlock hangs on to it, a little bobble, but they maintain possession as they are working on the open side of the field.
I'll never forget my national team coach, one of them, Nancy Sun, told me, if you want to throw those deep ones, at least get it on an outlet or get it in power position. Try not to throw it from a standstill hook because it's very difficult to get that power that you want to hit a very already deep cut. So,
well, shout out to Nancy. Let's talk about deep shots for a second, because that was probably about 20 yards, maybe less, into the end zone. What constitutes a deep shot for you, Raha?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would say that that counts as a deep
Sure.
shot, like
Yeah.
an away pass. Yeah. Same thing.
And we can use this as an example as well. That was a little low and angled. I don't know if the wind pushed it down, but it looks like we have a timeout in New York.
Timeout. All right, let's see. I really want to shout out the Sneeches. Sneech Ultimate is Bryn Mawr and Haverford's bi-college ultimate frisbee team for women, non-binary, and trans athletes. The team is open athletes of all skill levels and strives to foster a welcoming community for all students. At its core, the Sneetches value inclusion, spirit, and having fun while tearing it up on the field. The Sneetches compete as a Division III team and are hoping to go to nationals for the 4th year in a row this May. They are selling raffle tickets as well as baked goods and other merch. They'll be raffling items throughout the game, including merch, discs, and stickers. You can definitely stop by and get some, and please support the local Ultimate community. One of our players, actually, two, Linda Morris and Liz Hart, coach the Sneetches, and they had sectionals today, and they made it to the semis.
Let's go.
Yeah.
It really is special, like the local love that you can feel, like I was saying, on and off the field, and that carries that runs so deep within a community, especially a program that has been around for a while. I know I personally have felt that only living over 2 years here in Philadelphia, and how later in your year how can I contribute back to that?
Absolutely. The support here is tremendous, and I love that players are starting to come back and coach, or even while they're still actively playing at a high level coaching. It's not easy to do. I wasn't able to do it for a long period of time as well.
Even to give Coach DeSabato a shout out, as she's probably trying to maintain this defensive strategy right now as Gridlock is working her way back into Surge territory. Great defensive look, and yet a turnover. Oh no. Looks like we may have an injury. Timeout.
Injury call.
We hope this isn't too serious. We are going to take a break and give a shout out to one of our ads, Charlie Hops. Charlie Hops, Ultimate Coaching and Consulting, is a proud partner of the Philadelphia Surge. Are you an Ultimate player trying to reach the next level in your game? Are you a coach or a captain who wants to get the most out of their team this season? Charlie Hops has worked with players and teams at every level, from high school and college to club and pro, including your very own Philadelphia Surge. Charlie will work with you to chart a path to reaching your goals. Learn more and schedule your free consult. Call by visiting charliehops.com today. And that's Charlie Hops, HOPPES.com today.
Thank you. And I really... Okay.
We're going to take a video break.
Come on, break!
All right. So, unfortunately, there was an injury sub, but they cleared the field, so I'm not sure. Hopefully, it's nothing serious.
Yeah, it looks like the Gridlock player, number 21, went down, and they're helping her off the field right now. But it does not look great, but she does have some help. And
good time to talk about injuries and the people that help care for all the injuries that Ultimate people incur. One of them is a company called More Than Movement, and they're a proud game day sponsor of Philadelphia Surge and the official training partner for our team. Philadelphia had a couple of sessions with them. They just finished last week where they got to work with Coach Chris Biddle and Nick Perugini, and I personally have very good experience with them as well. I've been working with them for, 10 years now.
Wow, okay.
So they're lucky to have that partnership with them. And if you are looking for injury prevention or rehabbing anything, or if you just want to go work out, I highly recommend hitting up More Than Movement.
And it's extensions of the Ultimate community like that really help these players play at the best level they can. And right now we had a couple of turnovers. Surge starting with the disc, turned it over. Gridlock just had possession and turned it back over as Surge tries to capitalize, swinging the disc to the center.
Liz Hart with a huge rip to Jess Brand.
Massive rip.
Wow.
For the goal, Surge takes a point with 23 seconds left on the scoreboard, we have a tied game.
Liz finding Jess Brand. They both are from Westchester. So they got that chemistry, Westchester chemistry.
I heard that Westchester has a phenomenal suburban ultimate community.
Yes.
A lot of club teams, the mixed team in particular out of Philadelphia, play a lot there. But let's look at this replay. We'll talk about deep shots. Why don't you tell us about this one?
Look at that. Okay. Isolated, wide open, lots of time to gauge the space. You know, find the way you want to throw that, where you want to throw that. Buckets right there, right in the breadbasket.
Yeah, the patience of the backhand. I mean, Philadelphia's thrown enough of them to see them turnovers. It's nice to see the patience and execution of this one. Now, major point right here is Philadelphia takes defense. What do you think the line is talking about with the end of the third quarter coming up?
Oh yeah, 23 seconds left. So it looks like they have a specialized line out there. They, with my experience, we would practice end of quarter sort of lines like that, putting some big, tall players in there to help with any deep looks, things like that. But yeah, this is exciting. I think they just want to try and get a turn quick, so they have some time on the clock, so Philadelphia can actually score.
I believe that was our first scuba of the game by none other than Valeria.
Of course. But yeah, the last thing you want to do is let Gridlock just possess it, work it up the field. So apply a little bit of pressure. I would say put a really nice hard mark and front them, make them have to maybe take a deep shot, and you have a chance to maybe score.
Right. It almost looks like they're just holding down that forced flick,
Yeah.
and Gridlock took advantage of it just like they did again as they're on the 25.
Final possession already, so just get a D at least. Oh!
Wow.
Sarah
just
Hiernat.
ill-timed by Philadelphia as Valeria comes down with it. For the dish, the swing, and the score, Gridlock goes up by 1. Wow.
A little unlucky. Sarah Hiernat read that, was at the right place, just misjumped
To close out the third quarter.
Yes.
Which will take us into, let's watch the replay first. Yeah, that patience really came in their favor. But then just slightly off.
I mean, Sarah gets those 99.9% of the time.
And way to be there.
Well, you can tell she's not happy about that.
And now for a friction ad.
We'll be right back.
And we're back for the fourth quarter here at the Super Site. Philadelphia versus Gridlock. Gridlock is up by 1. And I would like to talk about Discraft Ultra Star. The Discraft Ultra Star is the official disc of the Premier Ultimate League. Discraft, the world leader in disc sports. And this live broadcast is brought to you by the Premier Ultimate League. The PUL is a 501c6 nonprofit. This league has been community funded since day one, and we are so grateful for the support. We ask that you consider donating to help us continue to transform and fulfill our mission. Head to PremierUltimateLeague.com to donate today. That's PremierUltimateLeague.com to donate today.
And this live broadcast of the Premier Ultimate League is brought to you by Breakmark Ultimate Apparel. Go to breakmark.com to place your next custom team order or check out the PUL Athlete Collab shops.
And to piggyback off of those brands and advertisements for our community just sets the tone for the level of ultimate that we're seeing here. Philadelphia come back to tie it, and then Gridlock gets a break to go up by 1 into the fourth. What are you thinking for this fourth quarter energy?
This is a nail-biter quarter for sure. there's going to be a lot of jitters and nerves, but also I'm sure a lot of hunger and excitement out there on the field on both sides. I think there's going to be some plays.
I think so, too. I think we're going to see some deep shots land, and I think we're going to see some layout Ds.
I think so.
As we get into the fourth quarter again, New York Gridlock up by 1. Surge, Philadelphia Surge 8, Gridlock 9 as Philadelphia makes the pull.
Yeah.
Gridlock picks it up at their 40.
All right, got Valeria starting things off.
And we're back in the fourth quarter. New York starting on offense. Your home Surge.
Lindsay, almost with a D.
Gridlock
Philadelphia playing really tight defense. Oh,
and
wow.
it comes through with a forced flick across field, and yet
that's
just out of reach.
Yeah, that's not a mistake that happens often. So this is Philadelphia's chance to capitalize on that. Got to get that tempo going.
A great save,
nice
an
catch.
Inside flick as Philadelphia tries to get off their goal line with a huge backhand.
Oh, short again. Oh!
I feel like the jump was well-timed, and yet it was just over Philadelphia's ability to bring it down.
Yeah, she had to go up because the defense had a good position. So she had to come back and try and make a play.
Valeria looks like she's just trying to run the field as she sees a nice cut coming in as Gridlock takes the disc back.
Yeah, Valeria just quarterbacking right now.
Really is.
The stack is getting a little stagnant. Oh, but there's a call. There's a conversation at the front of the stack there, I think, with Jolie.
How do you think Gridlock's strategy has changed since the first 3 quarters, Raha?
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I don't know if I want to say that it's changed necessarily. I mean, they got a pretty strong receiver down. I mean, Montana was a big part of their yardage churning, but they have huge depth. So I don't think necessarily they need to change much, but just keep doing what they've been doing, which is take the right passes, create these tempo movements, distribute the disc, and find opportunities to score.
Honestly, they really haven't changed. Right? It's the consistency. I mean, they are making strike cuts, whether they're looking it off or someone else is going to break, just like there for the backhand right on the goal line. Gridlock is looking to score.
Yep.
And being patient. Wow, with a bid and goal. But it looks like there's some discussion between the back observer and the cone sideline observer. That must be saying it could have been out.
How many times have Gina Cartagena scored on that break side throw there?
Truly. Her assists have been so consistent, as you said, quarterbacking this offense as they progress up the field.
Yeah, there's definitely, it was close. You know, we have best perspective here.
Yeah, yeah.
See the replay. It's even hard to tell because of the hat.
Yeah, it looks
from
like
this angle. But it may hurt. Yeah.
But the observers are saying it's in. And Gridlock holds on.
And another goal by Estelle Ding. I think that's like her third or fourth.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Well done, Estelle, as Gridlock is 10-8 over Philadelphia. And we're just into the fourth. We got 9.5 minutes left. A lot of Frisbee to be played. Philadelphia was down by 2 in the past quarter.
Absolutely. They are still well in this game. I'm curious to see what kind of lineup Philadelphia is going to put out there. Are we going to try and just now utilize our strength and just stack these lines and both O and D take it home, or continuing with the 2 lines that they've been rotating through? They, Coach Andrea said they don't really have set O and D lines this year. So I think they're still kind of working that out. Obviously, we've seen a little bit more O-leaning, a little bit more D-leaning lines still, but I would like to see how they change that up, if they do.
Even with additions in a program at the beginning of the season, how many games would you actually say it takes until someone gets the momentum of lines and lines? I mean, it could go all season, right?
Yeah, That was one of the things I found was difficult with playing semi-pro versus club. You just don't have nearly as much time together, so you have to build that chemistry really, really quickly. Having said that, though, a lot of these players have played on, club teams together already for so many years. So, for example, Philadelphia Amp is one of them, and we've got, what a shot.
Wow.
Liz Hart again.
Wow. Point Philadelphia surge, Liz Hart with the grab. Let's continue to talk about communication, because it was almost as if that point by Philadelphia being a little more intentional and just being able to focus on how you're going to build chemistry. That was one of the cleanest shots of the game.
Talking about, chemistry, we've got, here we go, Emily Shields here getting to Liz Hart, and then finishing to Grace Maroon. These are all 3 AMP players.
Finishing to
previous AMP teammates. So that's huge. Having that innate chemistry from having played club will allow you to. So to answer your question, it takes a whole club season.
It really does. And that's also good placement by the coaches and the supervisors being able to put those pieces together. You can even see in that last point how Gridlock was there every step of the way, but just using that little pace above or ahead or behind is going to make a difference here as we get going 9-10. Gridlock still up by 1.
Yeah, this is a big deep point for Philadelphia. Looking at the line, looks like we've got a couple of people staying. So Liz Hart's still on. Emily Shields still on. So I think they are trying to do a little bit more stacking of the lines, which I'm really happy about.
As Philadelphia's PUL goes out of bounds, Gridlock resets at the 40.
I like this matchup, Sarah on Gina Cartagena. They have very similar builds, similar quickness, both very powerful. So I'm curious to see how this goes. It looks like a little bit of switching, though.
And we got some deep cuts downfield, but Gridlock is working their way, using the handlers wisely.
Ooh, great catch by Estelle. Gina just finding the right spots, always there. And there we go, there it is, coming up.
Valeria sees it.
Absolutely.
Just lays up a flick that's just too far out the back. Actually, she was just short a couple of strides.
The disc would have been in, I think, if just it was over her head.
I think just a little misread there.
It looked like, it was sailing a little bit.
Yeah.
Because that's an automatic goal, usually.
But that was a great cut by number 20,
Gina Cartagena.
Gina Cartagena.
Liz Hart with the disc, centering to Kit. Back to Liz. All right, Sarah. Oh, open, deep. But throwers couldn't see it. Oh, yeah, this is going to.
There we go.
Oh, I thought she was going to send that one.
You feel like Philadelphia is working for it. Like they definitely want to find that open shot. But yet, patience.
If you count in your head how long they're holding it, it's no more than 3 seconds.
Yeah,
that's the kind of tempo that they need to keep playing with. Great cut by Natalie, but just a little too far. Wow. They're definitely working hard.
You can tell they are flowing. They're really trying to own this possession right now, working New York.
Absolutely. The difference between this point and some of the other points have been that Philadelphia is finally dictating.
Absolutely. The assertive nature of this point really tells us that.
Wow.
And then looking for those cuts that will come if you can just continue to work it.
That was my favorite point. That's a break, right?
That was a very strong point by Philadelphia to tie this rivalry right now with just over 6 minutes left. I am going to take this celebration because it makes me think of celebrating a birthday. And my best birthday is your source for the best party or event you can have. We host sports and games, parties, Nerf battles, tactical laser tag, DJ dance parties, archery tag, and more. Our hosts, Matt and Jason, are by the Kids Zone, and our own DJ Reed would be happy to talk to you more about whatever event you are interested in throwing. From birthdays bar mitzvahs, bachelor, bachelorette, block parties, and more. Talk to them about throwing your next great event. You can also find them online at mybestbday.org or email mybestbday@gmail.com. Kind of feels like we're celebrating a birthday right now, tying up that matchup.
Say, I know the game's not even over yet, but that was exciting. All right, this is good. So another strong line. We got Lindsay McKenna with the pull. Natalie Bova staying on. We got Sarah Leanne back on.
How would you say the defense is going to approach this next point, going up against Gridlock's consistency?
Oh, they're hungry. I can just sense that Linda Morris is going to be hunting. But it looks like they're coming out with a little junk. Okay. No!
And Philadelphia brings out the aggressive nature for the D. That hand block was above her, like shoulder height, and yet knocks it down for Philadelphia to get the disc on the 40.
Sarah Liang with the
break.
Visionary block.
Truly.
I take it back. You do get blocks in zone, but it's rare. Players like Sarah can generate them. Wow.
A nice feed into keeping the momentum going. Philadelphia is within 5.
They're playing so much more confidently.
Throwing a laser to go up. You're absolutely right. The confidence of this team, I mean, it really just goes to show there's a full game happening here, and there's still over 5.5 minutes left.
I hope they don't take their foot off that gas pedal.
Absolutely. There's definitely a level that they've decided to own from that past possession. How do you think that sort of started? Or,
you know, at the end of the day, it has to come from within. You know, in sport, it comes down to your players making these plays and wanting to. It's about winning, right? Nobody wants to lose. So if you want to, you know what it takes. It has to come from within. But of course, there's been, I think, some good strategy change up, some good subbing from the coaches of Philadelphia. I'm curious to see. I'm surprised that New York's not calling a timeout here, actually, to stop Philadelphia's momentum. But
to me, I feel like there was a lot of trust displayed on those past couple possessions, especially after the first half. We saw those deep shots. We saw sort of the gas or maybe the lack of stamina, and then the turnaround throughout the game, being able to capitalize when it counts. It's very impressive to see Philadelphia now on the pool, up by 1 against Gridlock.
Here we go.
This is going to be impressive to see Gridlock's response with their consistency.
Absolutely.
How will they adapt?
Oh, it looks like neither Valeria or Gina on the field. So maybe this is a little bit more of their D-ish line. So Eli and Joel.
Wow, close call there.
Eli and Jolie working the backfield on this line. We got Janine Olvad. Oh no, that's Ella. Swinging the disc. Philadelphia is still playing that hard, tight defense. Really like them to stop the up lines, though. There's no reset. Good positioning by Kidd at the front of the stack there. Good body. Very good body control. Looking at the reset. New York is definitely struggling to find spaces, except nice one there by Ella.
Wow. Nice movement.
Good break side.
Assertive. And it pays off.
In that same spot.
And yet Gridlock is back on the board to tie it. You could tell within the 20 yards they really worked those upline cuts for the give and go.
It shows you how much trust they have in their team, how much depth they have to not have their 2 best players on the field, right? So that's how incredibly deep this New York roster is, and they got it done.
Yeah, a great sign for, like you mentioned, the depth of the line to be able to make up when you're needed, and it's exciting to see this level of play just so early in the season. Like Andrea was telling us earlier, being able to guide how the growth of the program is happening, and how your team is responding, how the program is going to build. And I have to say that this is impressive to see as the second game of the season.
Absolutely. And now, I don't know if this is some of first game jitters from New York. This is, their first game of the season. It's an away game. We've always had a great battle against them, so it's a good matchup. Yeah,
it's really fun to see a team coming in and playing the dynamic here in Philadelphia to start the season. It really makes this this league so entertaining.
Oh, what a catch by Grace.
Grab by Grace Maroon.
Huge save.
Really deep horizontal that did not work out as Serge turns it over for Gridlock to take the disc just at the 45.
All right.
This is really going to be interesting to see how Gridlock responds now that Valeria is back on.
Another nice catch. Oh,
and
that's down.
She expresses incredible spirit because
you couldn't tell from here.
It was down, and she must have dropped it as Serge takes it back at the 40 on Gridlock's territory to respond.
Oh, there's a contact call by Walsh, or foul now.
Wow, a uncharacteristic drop by Valeria. We saw that in the second quarter, but she definitely made up for it. Let's see how she does now on D.
A timeout called. I think Philadelphia called a timeout. That's a good call.
Yeah.
Let's get your best line in here. Getting the disc off the sideline. It's windy. Just take a breath.
We have just over 3 minutes. How would you say coming to the end of the game, Raha, like the most critical, is it within the last 60 seconds? It really depends on so much, but what do you think Philadelphia is trying to just decide on what to do here with the 3 minutes that we do have left?
I don't think they're thinking about the scoreboard or the time. I think they know that they need to score this point. So score 1 point at a time and then focus on the next one. But I think it being, end of the quarter, only 3 minutes left, they don't have to worry about legs as much and who are they, if they're overplaying somebody, so they can ride their top players a little bit more, I would think.
Do you think we'll have a play call straight off of the tap here as Philadelphia taps it in at the 40?
I think the play call is get the disc to the middle. Always. There's no magical play call off the sideline.
And we're continuing play as Philadelphia is just trying to find some openings.
Lindsay McKenna. Oh,
Here's
what a nice
one with
play.
The deep shot.
Wow.
So pretty.
So pretty.
One of the best shots of the game.
That was a textbook cut that Linda Morse made there. So I don't know if you saw, we can see it on replay. Kind of make that skinny cut to the open side.
Opening up that
break.
space was just her in the backfield. I'm sorry, in the end zone.
Here we go. Let's see how she sets this cut up. She's already cutting the break side. She's a little early there, but the cut's not done. Boom. It's beautiful.
See you later.
And Sarah's vision. Amazing.
Wow.
What a nice throw.
Just over the shoulder, making it look so casual. Well done, Serge, to go up by 1.
So the difference between that Hux and the previous standstill Hux is, Adam, it came from a very shallow position.
It almost didn't even feel like a deep shot because it was so smooth.
Right.
But that cut, though, let's just talk about that timing. Being able to get right ahead of your defender where you have so much authority to create that space, and like she did when she cut deep.
Yeah, Linda Morse is the master of powerful cutting and relentless cutting and never stopping. So if you ever have to guard her, good luck.
That was just such a great example, like you said, of textbook being able to keep that defender in your peripheral and then just bailing when you see that opening. Philadelphia Surge goes up by 1 as Gridlock goes to take their pull.
So this is interesting. Valeria kind of makes a little clearing away cut.
And
we got Abby Hecko with the disc.
Just taking her time with no mark.
She's really good at breaking mark here, so she's going to step around.
Wow, great movement by 31.
Eli. Lots of yards there to Jolie. We got to stop these unders.
They are just ferocious as they're making their way.
That's Janine Halvadi, a little trapped on the sideline. Wow.
Wow.
Oh.
The double-handed bid at goal, Gridlock. Valeria just making it look so cool out there.
So cool. Not much you can do about that one.
I mean, it was a parallel cut. Maybe she was going in, but then she just used those hips to cut deep and use that space, even though it was just a corner. Let's look at the replay to see the trust from these team members.
Look at that little up line cut by Jolie. That's impressive.
That is
footwork
Premier Ultimate.
I mean, Sarah, good body there.
Right, but still.
Just, wow.
And having fun with the bid, just going Superwoman out there. Well done.
That's
well
the kind
done,
of energy New York needed right now. And that's going to hype them up. 2 minutes left to go.
2 minutes, and we got a tied game at the Super Site, y'all. This is what it's all about. This is Premier Ultimate League at its finest, and with this historic matchup, I mean, what comes to mind for you, Raha, of this energy earlier in a season or a game that you were a part of, and how you're just keeping things calm?
Yeah, I am. I was super nervous going into this game, but it's been a super fun game to watch. I feel like we've only been here for 20 minutes. It's been going by really fast, and I'm just super proud of Philly right now and my teammates, and it's so nice to be able to see them grow. You know, having had a turnover on the roster, but seeing them grow within the last few years is really impressive, and I'm very proud.
I also am very proud to be sitting next to you in the booth, being able to broadcast this incredible sport, and at the level that we're seeing it right now, as Serge takes the disc back for a missed throw that just cuts through the stack as Gridlock D's it, and Valeria's walking up to the disc. What is she going to call?
Seems like another miscue. Opportunity for New York here. This is big. See if Sarah can get another block here. A call, a timeout. All right.
Okay, timeout New York to really take a pause and talk about what the last minute and a half is going to be like.
That is the end. It will be a buzzer beater. Make sure to come on down to the bottom of the stands to high-five the players for both teams.
Wow.
The next third game.
You may be able to hear Shaggy, our DJ, hype man down on the track as the Philadelphia crowd is engaged, ready for anything may happen with this tied matchup. I mean, what do you think the Surge Huddle is talking about right now, Raha?
Putting on a really hard mark and just hustling on defense, and then composure on offense. They're handing New York the disc for no reason. Just cleaning up those mistakes again.
I can't remember. I think the disc went through the hands on that last possession, and I almost thought it was going to be a garbage cleanup, but yet
but
it didn't seem like no one was there.
Yeah, I don't know if it was just like a misthrow or a miscue, but we need to clean that up. The space is there. It should be, it's not that windy out there.
Right. It doesn't seem like it picked up, or it.
Looks like a junk again. So maybe to throw them off. I wonder if they're doing it for just a couple passes.
Right.
Or for how long. But Nina and Valeria are doing a good job just dinking it through this cup. Looks like maybe, yep, they're still in it. New York is finding the middle of the. Not really sure what this zone is taking away. It looks like they're person now.
Yeah, it looks like they're going person.
Got to stop those up lines and unders.
Valeria just making moves as she throws a nice little easy pass into the 5 yard.
Called. Yep, I agree with that one.
Good call.
Way to stop that momentum. Oh.
Almost.
Oh, there was a pick? Or no call? Yeah, no call. Looks like maybe she thought about calling it.
I think so, and the observers are just discussing making the final call. as they step aside.
I think because travel is technically an active call, Adam, so technically play doesn't stop, but maybe the play stopped anyway. It gets confusing.
I think you're right. I think that is one of those odd moments where there's just a little confusion by the players on the field, not really knowing, are we stopping?
Yeah, that's on the players on the field for stopping. That's on them. I think that's why Liz
That's so
probably
tough,
didn't
though.
call anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you have an open cut.
It's so tough. I know. I think what's also confusing was they may have seen that there was a little bit of body contact with Lindsay and Gina, and they didn't know if maybe Gina called something. But don't ever stop playing defense.
Don't ever stop playing defense. I think that is a major note because at this level, yes, it's important, like we've been talking about all game, to communicate, but knowing just what your focus is out there on defense and shutting down that other your opponent. We have about half a minute left.
29 seconds to be exact.
Plenty of time for some plays, for some playmakers to step up, but yet this is close.
How long do you think it takes to score a point normally?
I think after today's performance with the positive deep shots we've seen in the second half, I think 15 seconds
It's more than enough time.
is enough to execute one of those deep shots. What about you?
Yeah, it depends where the pool's going to land here. It's important
sure
for New York
does.
to get a good pool here and make Philadelphia have to really work their way up. But I think Coach Andrew is telling them to grind it up as much as possible. If there's an opportunity in a power position, take the shot, but otherwise not force anything.
I completely agree. I think Philadelphia needs to go execute exactly what they've been doing in this second, specifically this fourth quarter, and just hold on.
So yeah, somewhere between 15 and 30 seconds.
Somewhere between 15 and 30 seconds, something is going to happen.
Oh boy.
But a true defining moment, second game of the season for the Surge, to recognize how we're going to respond.
Absolutely.
Because those calls happen, but yet how will you respond?
No matter what happens in this game, I think it's going to be a huge learning opportunity for them. But let's hope that it's a W.
Let's hope that it's a W as Surge just collects themselves on the line. Gridlock is getting ready for the pool, and we have about half a minute left.
All right, so we've got offense. We got Lindsay, M. Moeller, Kit, and I can't tell if that's Emily Shields, Grace Maroon, Sarah Liang, Linda Morris, and Sarah Hiernett. Okay, Emily is not on the field. Surprised that Emily Shields not on the field right now, but maybe they're looking for some taller receivers.
Right. Here we go.
Lindsay McKenna wide open on the far side, and of course Gridlock comes out with the zone. Oh, and that's a foul.
Getting a little physical.
That's a huge bid by Valeria. A great bid, but there was definitely some contact. Yeah.
I don't feel like it was aggressive too
No.
much. I think it was a fantastic bid, and I like to see the physicality too.
Great catch by Linda. Would hold her own space there. See a replay of that? Oh, injury.
Oh no. Yeah,
Should
you're
be
right.
okay, but
still a
definitely shooken
primary
up by
cutter.
that.
Yeah,
Oof.
having to take a beat.
Maybe Emily Shields will come in. Oh, Liz Hart. Linda Morris's partner, Liz Hart.
All right, Liz stepping in.
Liz has had a fantastic game so far, so really nice catch under pressure by Linda.
Truly. And here we go, 15 seconds.
15 seconds. All right, Kit's wide open here in the middle. Good mark by Valeria.
Oh, no.
Not a lot of time here.
A quick dump into the circle of Gridlock's defenders that is dropped as Philadelphia loses possession and Gridlock picks up the disc.
Oh,
and the
boy.
count, that's game as the clock winds down. Gridlock held on with that last point going up one to make it a final.
Wow.
13-12 against Philadelphia Surge. I feel like some of these timings throughout the game probably threw off offense, and yet week 2 of Premier Ultimate League, a fantastic matchup.
Fantastic, to say the least, Adam. That was an incredible game. They both teams gave the fans what they've been looking for. I mean, you can't beat that. It's anybody's game at that point. A little bit of luck here and there. Outstanding play by both sides. Great strategy on that final point by Gridlock. Slow Philadelphia down, make them have to think, and create a turnover.
I'll really say I enjoyed the progress from Philadelphia from the first half into the fourth quarter, holding on and even going up by 1. But yet the consistency of Gridlock held on for week 2 with Premier Ultimate League. I'm Adam Sutherland here with Raha Mazafari. Thank y'all so much for joining in at the Super Site in Philadelphia. We'll see you next week.
Thank you for tuning in.